This is 7 simple ways to introduce Sanskrit into your yoga classes. First things first, slow and steady. There's no need to rush. And honestly, yoga teacher, this is really, really key. The rest of the tips can be taken really slowly in your own time to help you build your confidence, to help you understand when adding Sanskrit is adding to your teachings, not taking away. So I'll say it again, go slow and steady. You have the rest of your yoga career to work on introducing Sanskrit, building confidence in your pronunciation. You want to make sure that what you're saying is right? But you're not on your own here. Wonderful expert teacher and author Hallie Schwartz is leading us through a 1-day Sanskrit, chanting, and philosophy training at Yoga Hero. So if bringing Sanskrit into your classes is a focus for you, or you want to know more for your own knowledge, this 1-day is absolutely perfect for you. Say the Sanskrit with the English. When we talked about whether yoga teachers should use Sanskrit or not, one of the main concerns was that if people don't know what it means, then they might leave the class feeling stupid, or worse, it could lead to an injury. One way to ensure that this doesn't happen is to add in the English as well. Something like come to samastitihi, even standing pose, standing strong and tall at the top of your yoga mat. This hasn't taken ages to say, but it covers all bases. Of course, while you're in the flow, especially if it's a speedy-ish flow, you probably won't have time to say the Sanskrit and the English and the guidance for each pose. But if you have a flow that repeats and it isn't too complicated, how about saying the English pose name and the guidance first time around and then the Sanskrit name the second time around? Suggesting a mantra for your yogis. This is a lovely, lovely way to introduce Sanskrit, especially if your class is a little slower or quite introspective or it has some real meaning to it. You could introduce a mantra that you encourage your yogis to repeat to themselves at specific points in your class, or you could suggest it in Shavasana and encourage your yogis to repeat it as they go through the rest of their day. From the Sanskrit Glossary of Yoga Terms by Bihar Yoga, a mantra is a tool that liberates energy from the confines of mundane awareness and expands the consciousness when repeated. I mean, wow! What a great opportunity to add Sanskrit to your classes and to give your yogis an opportunity to expand their consciousness. Talk about win-win. Leading a chant. I would imagine for some of you, me included, that this is the most nerve-wracking option. But it doesn't have to be a super long chant, and this would free you up to explain the chant and its deeper meaning, lead the chant, and let people repeat it if and when they wish. Pranayama techniques. For me, pranayama is one of the reasons that it is important to keep Sanskrit alive. That saying breathing techniques is safe and clear and tells people what they're going to be doing, but that pranayama, or indeed pranayama, means expanding the subtle healing energy or not restraining our vitality, which is so meaningful and so inspiring. By teaching pranayama, it gives you the opportunity to explain the meaning of pranayama. And often the Sanskrit terms, the Sanskrit names for the pranayama techniques also have a deeper meaning too. If you're keen to learn more about pranayama, you most certainly want to learn from an expert, most certainly. Take a look at the traditional Hatha, Pranayama and Chakra Kriya training led by Hallie Schwartz at Yoga Hero in May. And finally, pick your class or your workshops and your yogis carefully. Our first tip was to take it slow and steady. This is another very practical tip that when you first start to slowly and steadily introduce Sanskrit into your teachings, choose your offering, your class, your workshop, and your yogis very carefully. For example, a fast power flow class probably won't give you the time to add in some extra bits and bobs, but a slow flow class might, a meditation class might. Similarly, If there's always someone that comes to your Wednesday night class and they have a resting confused face, they give you quizzical looks when you introduce something new, that might not be the ideal time. But if there's a bunch of yogis who love it when you add in some philosophy or some anatomical knowledge, they might be really receptive to hearing the Sanskrit. Let's recap those 7 simple ways to introduce Sanskrit into your yoga classes. Go slow and steady. Remember, there's no rush. Build confidence in correct pronunciation. Say the Sanskrit with the English. Suggest a mantra for your yogis. Lead a chant. Lead pranayama techniques. And pick your offering and your yogis very carefully. I hope that's given you some food for thought and some action steps. I'd love to hear from you and how you get on. Definitely keep me posted. But above all, yoga teacher, happy teaching.